right, today's guest is someone who's been at the center of the attention and visibility crossroads long before most people even realized that it was going to be important at all. Peter Shankman is the founder of HARO, Help a Reporter Out, which fundamentally changed how journalists and sources connected, and is currently leading his latest iteration on the idea called Source of Sources. And through that platform, he's helped generate hundreds of thousands of media placements for entrepreneurs, experts, and brands looking to build authority the right way. But I think what makes Peter so different is that he doesn't just understand PR, he really gets how to leverage attention and visibility into opportunity. He's a best-selling author, entrepreneur, and keynote speaker, and he's spent his career helping businesses and individuals get seen, heard, and chosen without having to rely on massive ad budgets, and we're thrilled to have him here. Today, we're going to break down what actually works when it comes to visibility and how to earn media in a world overloaded with content, and more importantly, the changing face of marketing and what businesses need to know right now to stay relevant, competitive, and top of mind. Peter, thank you so much for joining.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I really enjoyed our conversation the other day, and what I like about it so much is how unbelievably pragmatic you are about the approach of marketing. Like, it is so refreshing to hear somebody just call bullshit, right? And it's like, look, this is what's happened. This is where things are going. This is how we're going to get there. When you think about messaging today and marketing and PR and like all that has happened from the traditional days of pre-internet, what should people be thinking about in terms of how to create a presence? I mean, especially in the wake of AI, everybody is just funneling out carbon copy content left and right. If you want to actually make a presence, where do you begin?
One of the things that I learned over the years is that the bar on pretty much everything is so incredibly low that you can literally walk over it without having to lift your feet to do better. Yet the majority of companies, brands, people do so little to improve their way of working that bar is at the bottom of hell, and yet these brands are down there limbo dancing with the devil. I don't need you any moment in time to go out there and be awesome. I don't need you to spend millions of dollars to create awesome platforms. I don't need you to do anything like that. What I need you to do is suck slightly less than everyone else. Laugh.
No,
But
I only laugh because it's so true. Like, if you don't laugh, you cry.
Of course.
Because you're so unbelievably on point. An opinion is as rare now as a Hope Diamond. Like, where is an opinion that's worth anything, that's grounded in anything, that is supported by anything?
I ask people all the time, whenever I speak, I talk about customer experience, talk about when I speak at these big conferences. I ask people, like, okay, tell me who had a good flight. Who flew here? Everyone raises their hand. Okay, who had a good flight? Okay, sir, what made it good? Without fail, their response is, well, we took off on time, we landed on time. Okay, sir, that's just called a flight.
There's table stakes.
There's nothing good about that. You took off on, you signed what's called the contract of carriage, which you said you will pay them to fly you to a certain place at a certain time and fly you home at a certain place at a certain time. And give you a seat. That's what they did. They didn't let you fly the plane. There wasn't a supermodel next to you and the seat next to you. They literally did exactly what they said they'd do. And you're over the moon, because what you expected was you get to the airport 4 hours early. The line is moving through TSA incredibly fast until they get to you, because for some reason you look like a terrorist. You get pulled aside for the anal probe. You come out of that little room about an hour later, a little less dignity. It's okay, though. You still got 45 minutes to make your flight, and you're at gate 4. It says it on your ticket right over there. Except they changed the gate, and your app didn't update. So now you're at gate 472, which is actually 6 airports in 4 states that way.
Right.
So now you're running with the luggage you hastily repacked after you got anal probed. Half of it's falling out. You get to the gate. The plane's still there. You've had 6 mini strokes. You present your ticket, and it beeps because you weren't there an hour ahead of time. You were in seat 4A.
Right. But now
you weren't there in time through no fault of your own. So now they've moved you, and you're in seat 37 bathroom.
Right.
And that's a middle seat and 2 NFL linebackers on either side of you. And you're right in front of the bathroom, and there's a blue liquid
seeping
coming out that door and going through your shoes. That's the next 4 hours of your flight. So the fact that you took off on time, landed on time, didn't crash into the Pacific, and weren't dragged off the plane by DHS agents by your nose, you're over the moon. So if that's how low the bar is, be slightly better. In terms of publicity, in terms of PR, in terms of getting press, what does that mean? pardon my French, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse in this podcast. What does that mean?
You feel free. Go right
learn
ahead.
to fucking write. It means do your homework. Don't rely on AI to do your homework for you. Do the actual 5 minutes of homework. Will get you a placement in top media.
I have a feeling, if I may, just to interrupt for a second, this sounds like a well-worn,
Oh yeah, I've never said this before in my life.
not yet healed, open wound that gets scraped every day. Like,
I'll tell you what the wound is. The wound is
your damn job.
The wound is we have so much ability to search and find anything we want.
Yeah.
And yet I got an email 4 Mother's Days ago. I'm a single dad to a 12-year-old daughter. And 4 Mother's Days ago, I got an email 4 years ago. Dear Peter, we know that working moms like you have it tough. You know, I ride my Peloton every morning around 4 a.m. And you could argue that I ride it for physical health. And I do. I burn like 1,000 calories before anyone else in the city is awake. And that's great. You know, it's probably improving my cardio fitness. I'll probably live a little longer. But you know why I do it? I do it so I don't fucking kill people.
Right. I was going to say.
I do it so that stupid shit like this doesn't cause me to go out and buy a gun and murder half the world. Even the name Peter is a man. It's not androgynous.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. This is supposed to be the age of enlightenment. We have access. I mean, wasn't that the whole promise? The whole promise was we're going to have access to information everywhere, and this is going to equalize everybody because suddenly we'll be able to self-educate and we'll be able to participate in a meaningful way. What happened?
Great?
What happened?
Well,
because
for starters, what happened is Republicans spent the last 50 years dismantling the public education system. That's number one. And
Okay.
number two is when you have dismantled the public education system and you have no foundation to build that technological house that gives you all the information in the world, the information you wind up listening to is we never went to the moon and vaccines don't work.
And right there, ladies and gentlemen, we took a left turn into politics.
Sorry. You know, I didn't want to do it, but I just probably should have postponed this interview because 20 minutes ago I read that Trump signed an executive order to eliminate the National Forestry Service, and so I'm just over it. I'm just so over it.
You know, he lost Megyn Kelly the other day.
Yeah, I know. And how bad do you have to be to lose? Jesus Christ.
Talking about stepping over the bar, I'm a conservative, and he's lost me.
Of course. Well, because you seem like an intelligent conservative.
There's a limit to everybody in terms of where this nonsense is going, but.
What kind of a world? I'm agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene and I'm agreeing with Iran. Oh my God!
Bringing it back though to marketing
about this.
for the sake of the podcast.
I'm a born and raised New York City kid, right? I'm a Jewish New York City liberal, born and raised from 2 working class Democratic public school teachers. My parents.
Oh well, no wonder the education thing hit you so hard. Sure, of course.
Well, I've been fighting for music education in public schools for my entire life. But my dad always used to make a joke whenever I do things that he didn't agree with. Like, for instance, I became a licensed skydiver. I have over 500 jumps, right? His argument to any of the stupid shit that I do all my life is, Peter, give me a break. Jews don't, and then fill in the blank, right? Jews don't skydive, right? Jews don't hike Everest. You know, all this.
I have so many friends with this same story. It's become very funny
It's
because
a real
it's so
thing. And there's a
thematic.
song. It's actually a song called Jews Don't Camp. It's one of my favorite songs. If it doesn't have a lobby, I don't want it for a hobby, right? But what I love about this is that, you know, I'm 53 years old. I'm a single dad living in New York City. Because of how far we've fallen as a society, I find almost every day more and more words coming into my mouth that I never in a million years imagined they would. And it's the last thing I'll say on politics. So we can get back to what your podcast is really about. And I apologize for hijacking it. But 53 years old, born and raised New York City kid. I live in Midtown Manhattan, and I'm a licensed gun owner.
Welcome to the craziness.
What the actual? Really? You know, it's just, and I don't. And the funniest thing is. Well, the funniest thing is actually it turns out I'm really fucking good at it. Like, I go to the range and they want to put me on their team. I'm shocked by this, but apparently I'm really good at shooting. But the fact that I'm going to who the hell says they're going to a range when they're 53 years old as a Jewish guy living in Manhattan? That word has never come out of my mouth. It's hysterical. Yeah, that's where we are right now. So, and I don't want a gun so I can go and walk into a Starbucks carrying an AR-15. I want it in case Trump decides to federalize Texas and have them invade New York. But I digress. I just need you to be slightly better than shit. And when the whole world is shit, it's actually very easy. Learn to spell, become a better communicator, take a writing class. Anyone who works for me can take any writing, creative writing, journalism, whatever they want. I'll pay for it because you can't be too good of a writer. You can always get better. Do the most basic of homework. Know 5 things about me. I'm very Googleable. So is everyone else. AI is great. Don't let it write for you. Use AI for the mundane tasks you'd never do anyway. Writing should not be a mundane task.
Yeah.
I'm throwing a webinar on Wednesday on how I use AI. I use AI to make me smarter. I'm never going to use AI to write for me. I'm a better writer than AI. But what I do use AI for, I'm massively ADHD. And the one thing that always drives me crazy is that there's a ton of information out there that I don't bother to read because I get distracted by something shiny. I probably get 24 newsletters a day. Every newsletter I sign up for comes with the best of intentions. I can't wait to learn from this newsletter. I never open them. So I wrote a script in Claude. 5 p.m. every day, Claude scrapes my email for any newsletters that came in that day. And it uses its best judgment based on what it knows about me and what I do for a living and how I work. It uses its best judgment to pick few interesting tidbits out of each newsletter, put it into a half a page email that it then texts me.
Okay.
That I could read on the plane, on the train, on the subway, whatever. And because of that, I get the value out of those newsletters that I'd otherwise never get. That's a great use of AI. Writing a pitch to a journalist using AI is not a good use of it.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because first off, it's funny. Alex Hormozy right now is sort of the hot topic everywhere. And he made a post not long ago that said, I just want to remind everybody that everybody is reading at a 5th to 8th grade reading level. Like he just came out and and he's like, it's important to understand that when you're talking to people, you've got to slow down a little bit and you've got to simplify a whole lot, right? So when you're thinking about people that want to have some kind of engagement with the press, and you've spent a lifetime being in this universe and understanding, what is it? Give us some perspective on the journalist's point of view. What is it that they're after? And, the way that it was always taught to me was make it easy for the journalist. Like, they are telling you the subject that they're interested in. Make it easy. Have an opinion. Give them something that's well thought out, that isn't too terribly long. If they want more from you, they'll ask. That was sort of the lesson that I had been learned. Is that still the rule?
Journalists have to do 10 times or more with 5 times less. The old adage of find the journalist who's been in the newsroom at the New York Times over the longest and pitch them is irrelevant, because no one's been in the newsroom of the New York Times for more than 6 weeks at this point.
Yeah.
Everyone's a freelancer, and freelancers have to do 10 times more with 5 times less. It's why I restarted HARO as SOS. So instead of, don't focus on getting your clients press, focus on making a journalist's life easier. If you make a journalist's life easier, your clients will get press by default. Yeah. So what does that mean? That means the pitch is 3 paragraphs at the absolute most. Right? 3 paragraphs. First paragraph, hello, this is who I represent. I'm responding to your query about X. Or this is who I represent. I know you've written articles about X in the past. Second paragraph, my client, YYYZZZ, does this, this, and this as CEO of this company. He took the company from $4 million in sales to $4.2 billion by implementing 1, 2, and 3 changes. This fits in with the kind of stuff you're talking about. I'd love to talk to you more. Feel free to reach out. Here's my email. Here's my phone number. Here's my name. Thanks so much. Bye.
Nice and easy.
Don't put attachments in there. Don't write a story. I'm not going to read it. Give me 3 paragraphs that I could read in under 3 seconds. For God help you if you include a video. Hey, Peter, I know you're busy, so I made this 2-minute loom for you. Bitch, that is literally the last thing I'm going to do. The whole point of email is so I can read it and don't have to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
If you're going to make me stop, go to another app and listen to you speak, I will never use you.
Interesting.
But yeah, just suck less.
If somebody is starting, I'm going to make a t-shirt that says, please just suck a little less. If somebody is starting off from zero, is it as impossible now to get in touch with the press? Because I really feel what you're talking about. As a Chicagoan, the Mike Roykos of the world had our attention, right? And there was one in each genre. I've forgotten now the name of the guy that did.
Jimmy Breslin. We used to be a smarter nation because we used to be informed by great men and women.
Yeah. And I mean, his stuff was always well thought out. It wasn't about volume. It was about quality. And there was something wonderful and magical about the way he particularly wrote. And there were guys like him around at radio stations. There were guys like him around that were writing books. There was this presence in the media of authority, journalism, integrity, etc., which seemingly has all fallen on the wayside. Is one of the benefits of that, oddly enough, stick with me, that now you don't have to be as authoritative in order to get press? Or is that not really a thing? Are the journalists still, even though they're freelance, even though they aren't living at the Post, are they still looking for that kind of level of credibility, or are they just looking for solutions to their query?
A little bit of both. Credibility will always help. I've been on CNN over 300 times. That buys me a lot of column inches when it comes to people looking for sources. But if you've never been on CNN, that doesn't mean you can't be a good, credible source. Again, the key is create a couple of sentences in the same amount of time it would take a dog to go from one squirrel to the next squirrel. You're able to articulate your answer. What I do find AI to be useful for, on the rare occasion I do pitch a journalist, I'll write my pitch, I'll put it into Claude or put it into GPT, and I'll say, hey, you're a journalist from MarketWatch. Based on what MarketWatch covers and how you're expected to write, change these 3 paragraphs I just sent you as my pitch, make it more appealing to that journalist based on those conditions.
Sure.
That's fine. That can actually help you. But
then you still go back and re-edit it.
Of course you do. And
no. I say that not because you don't know it.
No,
because I don't think other people
yes,
do.
Absolutely do. Because here's the thing. If you suck as a writer, AI will make you suck faster.
I think I need you to say that again so the people in the back row could hear it.
It's true. If you suck as a writer, AI will help you suck faster. Oh yeah, I used to just flat out say learn to write, because good writing is brevity, and brevity is social media, and brevity is communication. Learn to write. I remember I gave this talk at a university, and there was a 70-something-year-old professor in the back of the room. He was just listening. And very quiet, very subdued man, had a beard. And he was just listening. And I remember seeing his face a couple of times. He'd nod quietly. And I remember he said, learn to write. He stands up. Thank you. So yeah, become a better writer. Become a better writer, become a better listener. The reason I started HARO and now SOS, the base reason was because I talk to everyone. If we're on a plane together, unless you fake your own death, I'm going to know everything about you by the time we land, because no one listens. People just listen to you speak, waiting for an opportunity for you to stop speaking so they can start talking. I'll get on the plane, I'll introduce myself, and I'll just listen. 3 hours later, we landed. I've learned literally everything about you. I probably know all your passwords. And without fail, you'll tell me, my God, you're such a pleasure to talk to. No, I wasn't. I didn't say a word. I just listened to you.
Yeah.
But from that, I got a Rolodex of 50,000 people, and that helped me launch HARO and now SOS. So what can you do just to be slightly better? I had a girlfriend from the South once. That should, right, as a born and raised New Yorker, that right there should tell you the relationship wasn't going to last. But we had fun while we were dating, and I met her mother. Her mother was a lovely, lovely older woman from the South. And I'll having dinner one night, and I made a joke about something, I don't know. And she looked at me in this overly sweet, saccharine way, and she said, Shug, when Shug, I think, is a Southern insult.
Most things that sound sweet in the South
Exactly.
are thinly veiled insults.
I'll never forget that. She goes, Shug, good Lord gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth so we could listen twice as much as we talk. Okay.
Apparently she didn't appreciate your joke.
God damn, But I did learn one thing from her, from the girlfriend. I learned that you can strike someone down dead by, after they say something, just looking at them and touching their hair and going, "You're so pretty."
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, she was right though, man. We just learn to shut up. We get so much more information. We get so much smarter.
I worry right now that not only is this hitting, I don't worry, I suffer. Let me be more specific. Let me edit. I suffer the fact that everything has become about volume and fast, to the point where nothing has any value any longer. And I see this, certainly you watched newspapers fall apart, magazines fall apart, everything go to freelance, whatever. That was horrific. No journalistic integrity, nothing to bank on, no familiarity or understanding of purpose, just subject matter curators, not even experts.
My first job out of college, I fell into. I was one of 3 founding editors of the America Online newsroom. And for those who might be in your audience who are a little young, AOL, what used to be the internet, like the entire internet.
Yep.
The day that OJ was found not guilty, we were in the newsroom. Time Warner had a new service out called Pathfinder. And it was AOL versus Time Warner Pathfinder. And our job was to get that information, to get OJ's verdict up on our service first before Pathfinder. And we didn't do it. We came in second. But Pathfinder's first story that they posted on their website said OJ guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, OJ was found not guilty.
Right.
So we were second, but we were correct.
Dewey
And
wins.
I was always proud of that. It was like maybe a half a second difference, but we were correct.
Yeah.
And when Bloomberg hit, on the Bloomberg terminals hit, they literally their motto was get it up first, fix it second. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, you could point to a lot of reasons that things have gone to shit, but there's a FedEx commercial that used to say perfect speed is being there.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect speed is being there correctly.
Well, so I worry a lot about not only watching what's happening in the PR universe, but how it's impacting marketing in general. Education for us didn't begin until we got our first job. College didn't teach you marketing. College taught you some of the vocabulary. It taught you maybe something about design or something, how to identify that's headline, that's body copy, that's a tagline. Like that was it. But you didn't learn dick until you got to the front porch of Fight Club and somebody eventually, I joke about it, but it wasn't very far off. We would stand outside their offices until they needed cigarettes or beer. And, that was how you got in, was eventually they would be like, you're still standing here? All right, sit down. We'll give you a project. And then they would tell you how you did it wrong and they would beat the hell out of you. Right. And then you would thank them and go back and rework the same concept 15 times until you finally got enough of a nod that they were like, well, I can't find anything else wrong with it, so I guess it's okay. That was your first B plus, right? Was like you made it through the like cigarette ash wasn't burning a hole in the thing that you just given them to look at because they could give it back to you fast enough. And I think now the theory was everybody is supposed to go online and self-educate, but that didn't happen that way. And now that everybody's remote, you don't have the side by side.
Exactly.
So my question is, where does this end? Is it actually going to be a rebirth of the appreciation of something that is worth reading, or is the attention span simply so far gone that nobody cares about it any longer? That's the question I can't quite get an answer to.
I think we're going to go through another cycle. I think that it's going to be another 15, 20 years. We have the boomers are going to die. They didn't take the Karens with them. And
you had to throw the Karens under the bus.
I have one of my favorite t-shirts just says "Shut up, Karen." And there will be an appreciation for quality news again. And there will be an appreciation for fact checking.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I died. I've died about 85 times in the last 10 years. The first time I died was when who was that bitch under Trump who looked like she looked like death. She weighed about 8 pounds. Spokesperson. She was married to the Democrat, and her daughter ratted her out. You remember what I'm talking about?
I don't off the top of my head.
She's the one who went on Fox News and said, well, these are alternative facts.
Oh, right. It was,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It was she walked so Carolyn Levitt, or yes, Carolyn Levitt could run. But first time I heard her say alternative facts, I pulled a Stewie from Family Guy when he's confused. I literally heard the TV over there. He goes, well, these are alternative facts. I went,
you're like, wait a second, what?
Yeah, so the concept of alternative facts, it'll eventually die. Because here's the thing, one of two things you're getting. When I jump out of an airplane, it's the freest I'm ever going to be in my life. Why? Because I only have my life is, for that next 45 seconds, my life is boiled down to two choices, and only two choices. I can open the parachute and live. I cannot open the parachute and die. That's it. I don't have any other choice. I can't go back in the plane.
You can't pause and think it over?
I can't do anything. I have to open the parachute or not open the parachute, because either way, gravity's going to do its job. We are either going to go back to wanting to be smarter and expand from there, or we're going to fail as a civilization. Those are only two options.
Do you think AI is going to take that over, though? Do you think most people are going to? I think that there's going to be a new form of have and have-nots. I think it's going to be the thinks and the think-nots. I really do, because I think AI is going to become such the default that people are just going to double-click their glasses and
here's
say,
why you don't have to worry about that.
Where do we go?
Here's why you don't have to worry about that, because when was the last time you wrote something down on a piece of paper?
Yesterday.
Right. According to the internet pundit, or according to the CNN pundits from 1992, you're not supposed to be doing that anymore. According to the CNN pundits, you're not supposed to be holding a physical copy of the New York Times in your hand anymore. Now, granted, you shouldn't be holding a physical copy of the New York Times in your hand anymore because they've completely gone to shit and lost the plot, but it's not because of a lack of paper.
Right.
We're not going to go and see shows at the theater anymore. COVID killed that. Everything's going to be watched in our apartments. Well, I'm an investor in a Broadway show called Chess that's doing very well. I am not concerned that we're going to become this AI dependent world, because like I said, one of the things going to happen, if we get to the point where we are an AI dependent world, we're not a society anymore. We're just a bunch of mindless lemmings going through the motions. If that's the case, our manual labor jobs that we will have earned, we deserve. So I believe that, and maybe I'm just holding on hope, but I believe that we will get smarter again. 100 years ago, it was a lot harder to be stupid, because if you wanted to be stupid, and you could be stupid, but let me rephrase that. It was a lot harder 100 years ago to make other people come down to your level of stupid. You had to physically write a letter, stamp it, go to the post office, and send it to someone. If you wanted to do a chain letter, you wanted to send this to 20 people, you're going to die. You had to actually, it cost money.
Yeah.
To be stupid. When Nelson Mandela died, over 1 million people, including major news outlets, broke the news with a picture of Morgan Freeman.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that. I hadn't heard that.
We live in a world.
That's astounding.
We live in a world of collectivism. I mean, Jesus Christ! Yesterday, Michael J. Fox called into CNN and was put on the air to confirm the fact that their story was wrong. What story? The story that Michael J. Fox had died.
Stupid is easy.
I don't need to be awesome. I need to be slightly less than shit.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty remarkable universal tool to apply to today's state. Just don't be stupid, and be slightly less stupid than the person standing next to you.
I'll end this with a good story. About 8 years ago, I was refinancing. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment in Midtown Manhattan. I was refinancing it in New York. A 2-bedroom apartment in Midtown Manhattan. It's New York City. It costs $1,000 to wake up every goddamn day here. I was refinancing. I wanted to rebuild my kitchen and my bathroom. And being an entrepreneur, I could have easily just taken the money out of my stocks or whatever. But interest rates were low. I figured it'd be beneficial to refinance. But again, when you're an entrepreneur, it's a lot harder to get a home ec line or a HELOC, because if you don't have a full-time job, you're not like everyone else. If you're like everyone else, that's different. It causes problems. Okay. I put my dad onto my mortgage.
Okay.
Just for like a month, right? Because my dad is retired and spent 40 years in the New York City public school system and 20 years at NYU. The guy has A, a ton of money, and B, the history to back it up that says, hey, yeah, I worked for a living and now I have my pension coming in. It would have made it a lot easier. Okay, fine. He let me do it. My dad and my mom live in a building 3 blocks from me in a rental on all the way west in Midtown. So for 6 months, I had been working with this mortgage broker, this refi guy. Finally about to close it. It's done. And my assistant, I think I was somewhere in Florida or whatever, about to give a keynote. And my assistant coach was like, Peter, I need to conference you in with the mortgage guy. He has one more question. So I'm like, yeah. Conference me in. He goes, hey, Peter, almost done. Should be funded by tomorrow. So I have a couple more questions. He goes, apartment you own on 42nd on 12th Avenue. I said, no, that's it's a rental property. My parents live there. Remember I told you I was putting my dad on right, the building. It's 42nd 12th. He goes, how many units are in that building? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe 1,500. I don't know. Okay, I just need a general number because I have to show proof that you own the building and you're getting rent. I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, yeah, I just got to show proof to the bank that you own the building on the corner. My assistant was on the phone while this was happening, and I just hear her go, uh-oh, under her breath, and I took a deep breath myself. And said, let me ask you a question. We've been working together for 6 months. Are you seriously asking me now, the day before we close, if I seriously own a 1,500 unit apartment building on the corner of 42nd Street and 12th Avenue when all I'm trying to get from you is a HELOC for $500,000? At which point my assistant clicked off mute and said, Peter, you know what? It's Friday afternoon. You have to give your keynote. Why don't you hang up? I went, no, this is why we can't have nice things. And my assistant went, Peter, hang up the phone right now. just be slightly better, please. That's all.
Just suck a little less. Pay attention to details. Suck a little less, and make it easy for people. Peter Shankman, thank you for giving us some of your time today. This has been a wonderful conversation. I've so enjoyed it.
Pleasure was mine, seriously. And I, look, I'm at Peter Shankman on all the socials except Twitter. I encourage you to reach out, talk to me, ask me questions. I'm happy to help you. I'm from New York, so I'm gonna talk fast, listen quick, but I promise you I will help you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Peter. Enjoy the rest of your day.